Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon. This video, and then I post up on Facebook, and then this video is done with the questions that I didn't get to on Wednesdays. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. I would like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They are an online therapy company. They are international. So if you're in India, if you're in England, if you're in France, if you're anywhere other than the United States, you can get on to BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Fill out some questions. They'll put you with a licensed professional therapist here in the US of A that is master's level or PhD level. If you don't like them, all you got to do is go back in and say, hey, didn't like them, fill out some more questions, and they'll place you with somebody else. So anyway, thank you. BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're awesome. I'm very happy that they are helping people and getting people to a therapist. So that, whoop, whoop, that makes me happy. All right. And like I said, I've been getting really good feedback, so that's good. Okay. So questions I did not get to. Okay. Question: how do you parent yourself if you have dissociative identity disorder? So that's going to be a challenge. I think the biggest thing is going to be kindness to you. And get with a good therapist that can help you. Get with a trauma therapist. DID is a symptom of trauma. So get with a good trauma therapist that can help you love yourself unconditionally throughout. You know what I'm saying? So get with a good trauma therapist. Kindness is the rule. No being mean, no being, harsh or critical, just kind, gentle, as if you were your own child. And yes, I am not an expert in DID. I do work with some clients that have it, but I also, in conjunction, work with other therapists with them. So get with a good trauma therapist. Start with the kindness. Start with positive affirmations, and just gentle with you. Write journal. That's going to help you. No matter which personality is coming through, that lets you know what's going on. So journaling is good. And gentle with you. Super, super gentle. Okay, let's see. What if a spouse seems happy to see you, but then when you just act yourself, they snap at you, so you have to correct yourself? I'm wondering if it's ADD or narcissism or cultural upbringing. Well, here's the way to tell. If you bring it to their attention and they get defensive, they're probably narcissists. Because even ADD have empathy. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost any other mental health concern is going to have empathy. Personality disorders usually don't. That's one of their hallmarks, is that there's no empathy. There's not this ability to go, oh gosh, how must that feel? So talk to them, see what their reaction is. And if they snap at you and get defensive and it's, flip the script and it's you, I think you should be very, very, very careful. So yeah. It could be cultural, but unlikely. So, because again, it's a matter of respect. You don't snap at people you love. You just don't. It's not okay. So talk to them. And if they get defensive or flip the script or make it you, pull out the you guns. There's your answer. They're showing you who they are. So, okay. Have you ever heard of Dr. Childress' work on parental alienation and splitting? He says that splitting is taught and rewires young brains. Yeah, absolutely. Because remember, kids side with the abuser. They do, in order to stay safe. If there's no therapy involved, if there is not somebody guiding them and helping them and, encouraging them to think for themselves, and trust their own guts and things like that. So yeah, and it happens at a young age, and it's instinctive. It's like a survival thing to side with whoever the bully is, because the bully has the power. It's not even a thought thing. So a lot of parents get angry at their kids for siding with the abuser. I understand. It sucks. It's painful. It's scary. But you've got to understand there's other factors going on there. And that's why it needs a therapist to help those kids recognize what the fears are, not side with the abuser, think for themselves. Do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah, it's important to get a therapist's eyes on that. Absolutely. How can we practice patience with ourselves as adults? Things to say when we're struggling. Gentle with you. Your motto from here on out. Oh my God, that Roomba sounds like it's dying a horrible death. What the hell? I may need to go stop that. So the thing to do is to be incredibly kind. It's really important to be gentle with you. Gentle when you're struggling. Gentle with you. This is hard, guys, because our abusers did not teach us anything other than harsh and critical. Harsh and critical, harsh and critical, harsh and critical. That's who they were. That's who they are. And so it's really important when we're struggling, get with a good trauma therapist, please, because the internal critic is part of the trauma response. It is. It's almost like we've internalized the abuser, and now we're just spewing this nastiness all over ourselves, and we're not even aware of it. So anytime you hear the mean, nasty, vicious, thank you for your input. Shut the bleep up. Why? Because I say so, you say so. I say so. I am the boss of you. You are not the boss of me. I am good enough. I am able to be nice to myself. It's okay. It's okay for me to be nice to myself. So when you're doing the mirror work, you give yourself permission. It's okay for me to be nice to myself. It's okay for me to say nice things to myself. It's okay. Gentle with you. And it's going to be really important to get with a good trauma therapist, because that's part of the trauma, because our abusers have spewed. We've internalized it, and then it just starts coming out and we're not even aware of it. So yeah, absolutely. Get with a good trauma therapist. Self-esteem workbook, Glenn Schiraldi. Absolutely. Self-esteem workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Put this nastiness back to the abuser. It does not belong with you. It's not yours. It's not yours. I posted a meme a few days ago that said, any thought that starts with what if is not even your thought. It's your abuser's thought. It's the fear that they shoved into your space. Send the what if back to them. And I agree with that. So yeah, absolutely. So there is that. Okay. All right. And gentle with you. Gentle with you is going to be your mantra. Gentle with myself. I get to be gentle with myself. I do not need to be harsh and cruel and mean. I do not need to be my own abuser. I get to be gentle. I get to. And that's your mantra as you're going to sleep too. Is it common to feel disgusted by a narc parent? Yes! My narc mother often did things that gave me the creeps and invaded my privacy all the time. Abso-freaking-lutely. So my dad, same thing. He was creepy. He said inappropriate things sexually about his own children, his own daughters, just inappropriate. Lack of privacy, banging on the door of the bedroom or the bathroom, demanding to be let in, standing at the shower, saying inappropriate things. There's no sense of decorum. Yes, you can be disgusted by your parent. And here's the separation. They are disgusting. You are not. They are disgusting. You are not. And because we're their child, we tend to carry over that shame and take it on as our own. Do not. You have nothing to be ashamed about. Absolutely zip, zero, zilch, nada. So put the shame, the blame, the whatever back onto them. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving. Pete Walker. Get it, work it. So yeah, it is common to find the abusive parent disgusting, because they usually are. They usually have very weird sexual things going on. They have no privacy. They are inappropriate in public situations. They're either uber charming or they're just inappropriate and on a bully pulpit. And yeah, they're crazy. I mean, some of the stories, dear Lord, where's my book? If you read this book, What's Wrong with Your Dad? This is my, oh, there it is. This is my story about growing up with an abusive, disordered parent. And he was an attorney for the two cities. And he was amazingly inappropriate and amazingly sexually inappropriate. And yeah, I was embarrassed by him. I was. And I was embarrassed for myself because people would look at me and go, oh, you're that guy's daughter. Oh. And they would totally judge and not even know who I am. So yeah. So it's really important to start separating. It's like, nope, that's that person. That is not me. That is them. And you have the right to be disgusted by them because they are disgusting human beings. So, okay, let's see if there are any other questions on there, but I do have some written down that I got over the week. Hang on. How do I feel comfortable saying no and having boundaries? Self-esteem. Swear to God and all that's holy. Self-esteem is going to be your best friend. So the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. You have the right to say no. Get books on assertiveness. It's okay to say no when you're doing the mirror work. Hi, good to see you. Have a great day. I give you permission to have boundaries. I give you permission to have privacy. I give you permission to say no. Now, generally what's going to happen is that inner critic is going to pop up and go, oh, no, we can't do that. We can't, no, we have to, no, oh my gosh, they're going to punish us. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Thank you for your input. Shut the bleep up. Why? Because I say so. I have the right to say no. And I am going to say no. I get to say no. Why? Because I say so. So that's what you're going to start doing. It is not going to feel comfortable. So let's be clear. It is not going to feel comfortable in the first little bit when you do it. It's not. You're going to be really uncomfortable, okay? And that's normal. That's normal because it was never okay for us to say no because we were told children are to be seen and not heard. How dare you, what's the word I'm looking for? How dare you rebel against me? Heard that one a lot too. Seen and heard, how dare you rebel? You can't say no. I'm the parent. You can't be angry. I'll give you something to be angry about. They mess with our heads and we have the right to say no. We have the right to be angry. We have the right to have boundaries. And you just got to keep reminding yourself of that. So Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker for the boundaries. The Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, or You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, whichever one floats your boat. I don't care. Or any self-esteem workbook. I don't care. As long as it floats your boat and you're willing to work on it. And I think journaling, I have the right to say no. It's writing letters to your younger self. Hey, little inner child workbook, Catherine Taylor, or Inner Child Workbook by Lucia Capaccioni. One of the two. I don't care. Again, get an inner child workbook that you like and start working it because that little one needs permission to say no and to have boundaries and that it's safe and that it's okay. Remember, you're the parent now. So when you're talking to yourself in the mirror, you got to remind yourself, I'm the parent now. You get to have boundaries. It's okay. You get to say no. It's okay. Nobody's going to punish you. I'm not going to let them. So that's what you got to start doing. Okay. How do you set boundaries as a counselor? Well, okay, there's the code of ethics. Okay. So, I talk about that in this book. So you want to be a therapist. So basically it's you abide by the code of ethics and you will never get into trouble because there's a code of ethics. And boundaries are things like office hours. I work from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to the last appointment I will take is at 6. What did I do with all my pens? Dear Lord, there it is. And I very rarely vary from that. Now, sometimes I'll take a later appointment if there's an emergency and it's at your discretion. If there's an emergency, I'll take a later appointment. Like say, for example, somebody dies unexpectedly and the client is absolutely in crisis. Yeah, I'll take them on at 7 o'clock at night. You bet. But you stick to the code of ethics. You stick to the code of ethics and you set those boundaries for yourself. So again, I think I talked about this last week is that you have to be clear on what you're willing and not willing to do. So some clients want me to work 24/7. No, I will not do that. I see 40 plus clients a week. I'm not doing that. Sorry. And the weekends, I'm with my husband and I enjoy my time with my husband. So, it's the same with texting. It's like, look, it's okay to text me, but at 9 o'clock, my phone goes to do not disturb, and you will not get a text back until 8 o'clock the next morning. So, you just set boundaries like that. And yes, there are some people that do the pushing it. I want to test. And that's when you go, okay, we need to talk about this. Where's this coming from? Who are you rebelling against? Because it's not me. Here's the rules, and either you abide by them or I find you a different therapist. There it is. So not taking things personally. That's number one rule as a therapist. Do not take things personally. When a client comes unglued, and I talk about this in the book, it has more to do with them than it does with you. Unless, of course, you've said something truly directed at them, that was not nice or good, which good therapists don't do. So anyway, but remember, you're working with disordered people. So especially if they have a personality disorder, especially if they're borderline, they'll take everything personally. And you have to constantly remind them, no, this is not personal. Here's what was said. Here's what we did. This is not personal. This is, you asked me a question. I gave you a straight answer. So if you don't want to hear the answer, don't ask me a question. So yeah, they do. They do take things personally, and you have to just keep reminding them. And it's part of the learning process for them. It says nothing about you. It says a lot about where they are in their learning process. So remember, borderline is born of trauma. And so they do take everything personally because everything was personal. It was directed at them. So if they can work on that, that's going to help them. That's going to help you. It'll be all good. So yeah, absolutely. So you just stick to the code of ethics. That's really your best bet for boundaries. And you figure out what you are willing and what you are not willing to do. Now, I know a lot of younger counselors especially will, I need to talk to my clients 24/7. I need to be on call. No, you don't. If they're having a crisis, you give them the crisis number. So, because you can't, you will burn yourself out like a shooting star, and you don't want that. You want to be in for the long haul. So you work on your own boundaries. That's really how you draw boundaries as a counselor. You have good boundaries yourself. So, yep, that's what I think. How do I not fall for the I'm going to change lie? Oh, okay. So the thing you have to remind yourself of is, how many times have you fallen for it? How many times have they said, oh, baby, it'll be different. It'll be better. I'm going to change. I promise it'll be great, blah, blah. How many times? Life is like a baseball game. You really, honestly, I wouldn't do it more than once, but twice or 3 times. Let 3 times be the end of it. Let 3 times be the end of it. Don't do any more. Remind yourself. They don't change, guys. They don't. Abusers do not change. They do not get better. In the history of ever, there has never been a narcissist that did not stop being narcissistic. In the history of ever. Ask Kim Saeed, ask Shahida Arabi, ask me. They don't change. They don't. And the way you stop falling for it is you go no contact. Once somebody has shown you who they are, go no contact. Don't give them an opportunity to harm you again. And you start getting with a good trauma therapist, and you start working on self-esteem with the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, or You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, one of the two. Or any self-esteem workbook. I don't care. Pick one and start working it. And you start having boundaries. What is your list of deal breakers? What will you absolutely not put up with? Lying should be number 1. So if they've said in the past, baby, I'm going to change, and they didn't, they lied. There they go. They just broke your number 1 deal breaker. Here's your sign. Seriously, here's your sign. So write your list of deal breakers out. No lying, no cheating, no stealing, no gaslighting, no rewriting history, no smearing, no calling you names, no hoovering you when you've said you want no contact. Those should all be deal breakers, seriously. And stick to your no contact. Once you've gone no contact with somebody, don't give them another opportunity to hurt you, because they will take it. Abusers want us dead. Let's be clear about that. They want everybody who feels dead, because they are dead inside, and they're angry that we feel. They're angry that we love, and they would love an opportunity to continue to harm. Don't give it to them. Just don't. Please don't. So you just remind yourself, how many times have you fallen for it? Okay, well, they just broke your number 1 deal breaker. Write a list of deal breakers, and that's going to keep you relatively safe. But you got to honor the deal breakers. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to write them out, and now I'm going to ignore them. Nope, write them out. Yep, they broke the no lie rule. We're done. We're done. Be done. And cut them off at the knees. No social media, no emails, no phone calls, no texting, nothing. Nothing, because they're not going to change. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. So, okay. Oh, dear Lord, my boss wants me to work 24/7. All right, you know what? Employers are just not figuring it the bleep out. They really aren't. I was talking to a social worker the other day, and her company is making her pay for her own mileage and her own gas on her own car. And she's like, I'm done. And I'm like, and you should be. You should be. Employers are used to treating employees horribly because in the past, we all put up with it. We did. That's why I went into private practice, guys. Couldn't stand working for an agency because it was run by narcissists and it was me, I, more my genitals, and they didn't give a damn about the workers, their safety or anything else. So if you are working for a boss that is abusing you, get the hell out. Find a different job. Seriously. So it turned out, that the pay was before taxes, I think it was like $24 an hour. But then with having to fill the car up 4 times a month at $100 a pop because they were making this person drive to the West Valley and stuff, it's like, oh my God, it turned out to be like $12 an hour. That's ridiculous. Nobody can live on that. And especially, I'm sorry, I'm on my soapbox. Here we go. Especially when rental places are like, you need to make 3 times the amount of the rent, and the rents are $2,000+. That's not going to cut it on $12 to $15 an hour, not even on $24 an hour. So leave, find a different job. There are good places out there, good companies that treat their employees well or better. So In-N-Out Burger, I know, but they started a pretty decent wage. Costco has got good reviews. You go on to Glassdoor and you look up to see what companies have got good reviews. And you go apply for them. And you avoid the ones that treat their employees that are worse. One of the companies, with one of the people I was, helping, they were like, you should be grateful that we're paying you this amount. And I'm like, no, they should be grateful that you've stayed as long as you did. So go find a different job. No. Bosses can be narcissistic as well. Abso-freaking-lutely. And if you find yourself in that situation, get the hell out. Okay, so I think I'm going to cut it off here. I'm losing my voice. So, all right, on Sunday, we are going to be talking about weird thinking, magic thinking, the weird magic thinking that narcissists have and how so confusing that is for the families, for the spouses, for the kids, etc. So we're going to be talking about the weird thinking and how to kind of mitigate that. So a lot of that is too the lying. That is magic thinking. Let's be clear. So because they lie. Oh, I'm going to change. And they really believe it, but they're not going to. So, okay. All right, my loves. Go be awesome. Have a great week. Stay cool. Drink plenty of water. It's supposed to be 108, 109, 111 this week. So anyway, be good, and I will talk to you later. Bye.